Hi Virgo, welcome to your 2020 forecast. We're going to be looking at January through June in this video. In the extended, we will look at July through December. If you would like to get the extended, you can go to my website, fearlessintuition.net, order it there, or you can become a patron on Patreon, where you also get exclusive membership items like access to the weekly meditations. You get special discounts on the workshops that I do, exclusive twin flame readings. You get all of the extended love readings every month that I do. So some people really like the all-inclusive package. I was going to get all dolled up and super cute for you guys, and then I realized that I just wanted to be comfortable. So here you are. It's sweatshirt day. Sweatshirt day. It's so funny. I think I wore the sweater for the Aries reading too. I'm human. It's really comfortable. It's like oversized and big, and I love it because it's really super comfortable, and that's what I wanted to do. So for the for the forecast reading, I have all of the major arcanas from one deck. This is the Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. And then we go through and clarify each month with another deck. This is the Spellcaster's Tarot by Melanie Marquis. So we're going to go through, we'll get an overlying theme for each month, and then we'll go through and clarify the tarot. I hope you guys are doing really well. It's been really interesting energy, like super interesting. Ever since Jupiter moved into Capricorn, I have felt the extra like oomph, the extra push forward. I might be a little obnoxious for a couple of 2 or 3 weeks because Jupiter is making very important contact with my North Node, with my midheaven, and with my Sun all at the same time within the same 2-week span. So I'm like getting expanded more and more. I mean, it's just, the expansion is going to be crazy in the next 3 weeks. Just watch. Just see what happens. So should I stop shuffling? All right, you guys, I won't play. I know you guys have really been waiting for this, so I have to be a little playful. And I'm kind of scared. Not going to lie. A little bit scared. So we have the star for January, which is not a bad thing. We have the Lovers for February. March, we have the Death card. April, we have the Magician. So we're in not rare form. We are in perfect form in April. In May, we have Temperance, and June, we have the Empress. Okay, so when we're done going through all this, I will pull July through December so you guys can see if you're interested. Let's just do the stretch. I know. I'm so obnoxious, you guys. I can't. I can be like this with you, though. It's fine. We are one of a kind. I should have done a yoga session before I did our reading, but I didn't really have time. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of creativity. I'm seeing a lot of creativity. There might be a relationship that is at the forefront in January and February. I feel like these two, for some of us, there might be a relationship ending or evolving in some way. It doesn't have to end. The Death card doesn't always mean ending. Sometimes the Death card is about evolution. Sometimes we're just leveling up in a different way. But I feel like with the Star and the Lovers, there's almost a sense of something coming back around. It feels like something might be coming back around. Now, with Saturn and Pluto showing up in January, you may repeat some cycles in your life in order to learn the lesson once and for all. You know, a lot of times we don't realize that, but Saturn and Pluto conjunction happening in January, and you're going to be able to find this out by seeing where your first house is in your natal birth chart. The way you find your first house is you get the time and the place that you were born, and you put it in one of the astrology birth charts that you can get all over the internet. You find out what your first house is, and then you find out where Saturn and Pluto are, what house they're in. It's not, your sun sign is not your first house. Usually your rising sign is in your first house, but there are some instances where that's not the case. Like I'm a Libra rising, I'm a Virgo sun, but I'm a Libra rising. So all of this Saturn and Pluto conjunction, the Jupiter moving into, is all in my fourth house, okay? Which is like family and home and stability and structure and like all of that stuff, right? So you can find out how it's going to directly affect you by finding out where it is, where that transit is happening in your personal birth chart. Overall, as a collective, it's going to bring a lot of accountability. We will need to show our receipts. Other people will need to show their receipts to you. This is not a time to try and slip things through the cracks, right? Because we're not playing like this is not a game. I mean, it can be. I'm not here to scare you though. Like it's not anything to fear. If you know who you are and you stand firm in your convictions, there's nothing really to fear. I feel like I'm just gonna say this. I feel like in January, some of us are realizing what our destiny is. And if we already know what our destiny is, we're taking off on it. We are creating from it. We are evolving. You could be dealing with a Scorpio energy. You could be dealing with an Aquarius or even a Taurus or Libra. But with the Empress and the Fool and the Death card, some of us are embarking on really big journeys here. And the Empress is saying that you have to trust that creative aspect. You have to trust, because the Empress is the mother figure. She is the pregnant one. She creates life. She creates existence. The Fool is about vulnerability. The Fool is about putting yourself out there, being courageous, allowing yourself to see things from all angles, which Virgos are very good at doing. The Death card is the evolution. All of this is a destined and fated event or events that are taking place for you in January. The major arcanas are usually like the road signs in life, right? So these are the things, these are the things that we're passing by as we walk through our journey. The creative process, the starting fresh, the evolution of it all. And how things look different than they did. Like maybe some of you are in reflective mode with this Star card. Maybe some of you are healing from the past still. Maybe some of you are recognizing the only way that you're going to journey forward is if you leave the past behind. There's also a sense of healing with your mother, because the Empress is the mother figure and we have the Star out on the Empress. You could be cleansing and healing through new projects, through creative projects, but there's definitely a leveling up feeling that's happening here for me. I feel like you guys, we are leveling up in 2020. We've been working really hard to get there. It has not been easy. The lessons are so real, right? Let's see what the Fool is and the Death. I have to keep an eye on the clock because I have to go get my son at a certain time and I want to make sure we get the extended done too. So, because you guys know I will talk all day. Okay. So I feel like you're hearing about possibly a new journey. It's directly has everything to do with your fate, your destiny, where you're going. The Page of Wands on the Fool. You're getting some kind of message about starting over, about starting new, about starting fresh. I really like this message that you guys are getting. Either somebody is showing up in your life, like coming back into your life, and wanting to start fresh or start over after a healing time, or some of you might have to take a trip. I have the High Priestess on the Death card. You might have seen this coming. You guys intuitively might have felt like this was coming. The High Priestess is the same. It's the same. It can be interchangeable with the Hermit. She's like the female archetype of the Hermit. The High Priestess is. So it can be very much a Virgo energy as well. It represents Pisces. But with the Death card, I feel like you guys sort of saw this coming. Like either you needed to take a trip or you felt like there was something, part of your journey is about communication, either communicating to somebody else or somebody communicating to you. Really tap into your intuition in January, because I feel like it's going to take you places. I feel like you're going to find a lot of answers during the quiet times, during the meditations, during the yoga, during the silence, right? You're going to find a lot of answers. So we have the Lovers in February, which is interesting to me because Virgos don't necessarily, wow, that was crazy. Virgos don't necessarily want to focus. They wouldn't admit it. We are closet romantics. We are closet romantics. This Saturn and Pluto conjunction is going to bring up some pretty hard memories, some pretty hard lessons, probably from the past, things that you may still be holding on to or holding out hope for. Could be with an Aquarius, could be with a Gemini, but the Aquarius energy is very, very strong. So we have the King of Swords, we have the Five of Cups, and we have the Star. Virgo, if you're holding out hope for somebody in your life, an air sign, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini, doesn't have to be an air sign. They could just have a lot of air in their chart or a really strong air quality in their chart. If you're holding out hope for a particular person or somebody in your life, and you've been holding out hope for them for a while, I feel like the Saturn and Pluto conjunction is really going to force you to let it go. And it might be a little bit painful. This Five of Cups makes me feel like you're still dwelling on something that you don't have, or dwelling on something that maybe once it was yours and you don't have it anymore. And so now you wish to have it back, right? The Star is the wish card, and you've been wishing for it for a long time. But now you have to realize that you have to release it. You have to let it go. You know, and sometimes that's the hardest part, is releasing it for good, because you're like, but what if it never comes back? If it never comes back, it was never meant to be. But you holding on to it and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, right? I feel like this was an illusion. I feel like this person might have been an illusion to you. I feel like this person was somebody that you probably once held pretty high regard. And I don't know, the Ten of Cups feels very illusionary to me on the King of Swords. It's like you wanted this to be your happily ever after, and you really, really thought it was going to. But why do we have the Five of Cups if that's your happily ever after, right? Not just saying that to tell you guys to make you mad. And this is the thing, is the Eight of Swords. I mean, I don't remember the last time I saw the Eight of Swords. It hasn't come out in any other readings. I mean, maybe it has, but of course it came out in the Virgo reading. Why are you dwelling? Please don't dwell on something that doesn't belong to you, that was never really yours to begin with. Don't dwell on it anymore. That Eight of Swords on the Five of Cups. And it's so interesting because people will say, but Betsy, I don't know what else to do other than to dwell on it. Like, how else am I supposed to see this? How else am I supposed to navigate these feelings? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Well, first of all, you stop beating yourself up that you can't release it, because that's really what the Eight of Swords is. It's not the fact that you can't release it. It's you're beating yourself up because you can't release it. You also have to recognize that there is a reason why you're still pining for this particular person. That something about them the devil on the star. Something about them, or what you need from, what you think you need from them, or what you think you want from them, is the lesson. Whatever it is that you think that person can provide you, that means that you're not providing that to yourself already. So every time that comes up and that feeling comes, that longing, the nostalgia, I want you to stop yourself and I want you to say, what is it about this memory, or what is it about this situation that's making me feel this particular way? Because that's really the biggest lesson here in February for you guys, is releasing the things that you can't control. And oh my God, that's such a life lesson for a Virgo. Releasing the things that we can't control. But really, honestly, when it comes down to it, we really can't control much. You can control your emotions and how you feel about things. March is the death card, so something is changing. And this evolution process is also creating this spark within you to create, right? So allow the evolution process, release expectations, release emotions, release all of the things that are binding you right now. Release it into the ether, you know, and be patient with yourself through this evolutionary process. This kind of thing, like you're not just going to evolve overnight, right? And allowing yourself to see how far you've come. See, this is all the lying, right? You're lying to yourself. And the reason why it's like you're telling yourself, but it's like you're giving yourself excuses as to why you can't evolve, or why this situation isn't going to change, or why things aren't going to work out, right? But you're not seeing how everything can change. I think March is going to help open up your eyes, but you can't create with the Magician in April if you're stuck in the Two of Swords and the Five of Swords. So I have Temperance. This is about balancing out your heart and your mind. I have the Five of Swords and I have the Two of Swords. What is it, Virgo, that you are refusing to let yourself see? What is it that you're not letting yourself see? Two of Swords. Because whatever it is that you're not letting yourself see, that's where the five, like you're deceiving yourself. Maybe you're letting other people deceive you along the way. Let's clarify. Let's see what Temperance is. Okay. There's a decision. Five of Swords. Oh, wow. Two of Swords. Okay. Some of you have to change the way that you feel about yourselves, and like there's a level of conviction and confidence that is being given to us really this year. There's a level of, because like last year, Jupiter being in Sagittarius, really that's squared off with every single one of your personal Virgo placements that you have in your chart. It may not have been the easiest year, right? Everybody was raving about Jupiter and Sagittarius and how that energy can really be good, but you were squaring that energy the whole time. How do I know that? Because my moon is in Sagittarius and my sun is in Virgo, and my sun squares my moon, right? So that Jupiter energy wasn't particularly nice to Virgo energy. It wiped away a lot of things, but it also helped you to expand yourself in ways where you weren't placed in a box anymore. You weren't placing yourself in a box anymore. Be patient about your stability. I feel like this evolutionary process this year is really about gaining stability for you, right? That Four of Wands, it can be about your environment, it can be about your home, but this is also like the Four of Wands. A lot of times when I see it, I want to ask the person that I'm reading for, where do you feel your home is? If you can't find that home within yourself already, it doesn't matter what your structure looks like or what the outside looks like. It doesn't matter. And see, I feel like March is probably going to be particularly hard for us because we will be going through it during Pisces season, the beginning of March. There will be a Mercury retrograde. So you are going to have quite things come up where you're questioning yourself, where you're questioning your journey. Am I going to be able to make it? Am I going to be able to do this? Right? This is the Phoenix rising from the ashes syndrome is what I like to call it. The lessons that you're learning right now are about seeing everything very, very clearly and not being distracted by the lies that you tell yourself. The Devil on the Two of Swords this wants to bring things to light for you. There may be a Capricorn around you also that you need to make a decision, or there's something about I don't know that you know what to do about a Capricorn energy. But the Chariot on the Five of Swords, don't lie to yourself about the direction you're going in, because the Chariot, clearly with the Chariot even showing up in your reading, you're headed in the right way. You're going in the right direction, Virgo. It's okay. And if you have to detour because you missed a step or something like that, then just detour. It's not the end of the world. Be very patient with yourself as you're going. But there is some kind of lesson about seeing everything clearly, making sure you have all the details. I know that Virgos are very detail oriented, but there are some times that we get so excited about what we're doing or so excited about like the direction that we're going that you will jump all over the place and miss a whole bunch of steps, right? And with the Magician in April, there's this sense of really wanting to create something new in your life. You could have a Sagittarius energy around you too with the Magician and the Temperance card. It's very Sagittarian energy. And this is the thing, Virgo, and I wondered about this. I wondered if Virgo was ready to really start manifesting a new a new relationship, a new stable relationship. If you're already in a relationship, this is like a leveling up that's happening. If you're already in a relationship, the bond is getting stronger. It's just you are realizing that it's part of your family now. You know what I mean? Whereas Virgos are very independent individuals, so it's hard for us to admit that we like having companionship. We like having somebody that we can rely on. It's very hard for us to admit that because we're very independent, right? And I think 2020 is that year where you're having to sort of look at things relationship-wise in a different way, which I'm not surprised about because almost everybody is going through this. Everybody is looking at themselves, how they relate to other people and how other people relate to them. It's a thing. There's like a trend in 2020 for this. We have the Lovers again. So you could be dealing with a Gemini energy, especially with the Magician here. We have the Lovers, we have the Ace of Pentacles, and we have the Page of Swords. Here's the thing, Virgo, what's really interesting with this. Now, if you're not in a relationship, this is a new relationship that's showing up for you. If you're not in a stable, loving, grounded relationship that's not on the verge of falling apart, I feel like, because there's something that's ending here, and I think part of it is your fear of not being able to level up, your fear of not being able to settle down, your fear of being hurt. there's almost like you had to get rid of your pride. You had to get rid of your ego and your pride in order to really enjoy this next section of your life, or this next season of your life, right? Being very honest with yourself on what you consider stability or what you want to be stable in your life is key in April. Huge, huge, huge. This Page of Swords is being on it, like, not in a Five of Swords kind of way, not being honest with yourself, because the Five of Swords is really lying to yourself, where you're beating yourself up. Being honest with yourself is like, all right, well, I guess I can't deny my feelings anymore, you know? The other thing is through this, and knowing that you want to also level up in relationships, you're also creating a balance within yourself that's absolutely stunning. I mean, the Lovers is about making decisions. The Lovers is also about the divine masculine and the divine feminine equality, duality, right? The duality and the equality. You're recognizing with the Hermit on there just how much you can create from a place of balance and peace, right? With the Magician's energy, you can create so much. I mean, this is the Magician's energy right here. See? The Magician is Mercury. The Lovers is Gemini. The Hermit is Virgo. That is all Magician energy. So you're really creating from that place. And I think that you're also recognizing where in the past you have been really hurt in relationships, and it has made you paralyzed, right? That in the past there have been severe stability issues when it comes to your life and your love life. It's almost as if you're not letting the past hurt you anymore. That Three of Swords, it feels almost as if this is being not corrected. This is being, I keep on wanting to put a Band-Aid on it. You know what I mean? Like, I keep on wanting to put a Band-Aid across this card. And it's not even just a Band-Aid. I feel like it's being stitched up. I feel like it's finally for good. You are realizing that money does not define how you feel about life. And relationships don't define how you feel about life. You define how you feel about life, and then you incorporate and you integrate everything together. You are the creator of all of this. And it's sobering. You know, we have the Hanged Man and the Two of Cups on the Page of Swords. It's like asking yourself, Virgo, where have I allowed the love connections in my life to paralyze me in the past? And where am I no longer going to allow that to happen? And how am I going to create those healthy boundaries so that I can be honest with myself? And I can not, you know, and here's the thing, you guys, even the Three of Swords can happen in stable, loving relationships. You can still get hurt as long as that person is not abusing you in any, I mean, you can still get hurt in relationships. That's a normal thing. It's when that person is abusive. It's when that person isn't trying to work with you. That's when we want to get rid of relationships, right? I'm not trying to say that you deserve to be in a perfect relationship, because there's no such thing. The only relationship that's going to ever be perfect is the one you have with yourself. So make sure that it is. Okay? Because it's the only one you can really control, is the relationship you have with yourself. So we have May. We have Temperance in May. Your crew. Are you realizing in May who is in your circle and who is not? I feel like Temperance in May isn't just about being patient. I think this is about, Temperance is about balancing out your heart and your mind. But it's also about expansion. And so we have the Three of Cups, we have the Wheel of Fortune, and we have the King of Pentacles. Now, the King of Pentacles could be your energy. It could be another Earth signs energy, possibly a Taurus, since we have Taurus right there. If this is your energy, I feel like some of the things that you're changing in your life directly, it's... Why do you have to choose? I feel like there's a choice that you have to make here. Lots of choices about who is coming with you. Why does that sound weird to me? Oh, who is, okay. And it's not, I literally, like, the words that they were giving me is who loves you. It's like you're finding out in May who really is there for you in your circle of friends. With your people, there might be a test. You might be tested in May. This happens all the time. And it's not because the universe likes to play games on us. That's not the case. The reason why we get tested is to make sure that we are holding up our boundaries, to make sure that we are not straying from paying attention to our own needs. Because so often we decide, you know, I'm going to pay attention to my own needs, and then other people need us for things. And we like are constantly like going to help them over and over and over again, when in reality, all we have to do is sort of like, you know, focus, get back present, right? Which I'm not focused at the moment for some reason. Hold on 1 second for me. Give me one. I'll be right back. Sorry, my nose was really bothering me. Might still be a little bother. Okay, so I feel like May is about finding out who really loves you, like who's really in your corner, who's really there for you, who's your ride or die. I feel like you have some decisions that you need to make, and I think that these decisions are going to shift a lot of really good stuff for you. It's okay if you can't make the decision in May. The Seven of Cups on the Wheel of Fortune, if you're still too confused, if you can't make the decisions in May about, because this feels very specific, like you're starting a project with somebody, or you're starting a business with somebody, or you are creating some kind of group, something or other, right? It feels very specific. Just because you don't have all the details ironed out, just patience. Temperance is about expansion. It's about seeing the big picture. It's not about being really nitpicky. There's a time and a place for the nitpicky. And I don't want you to, this is what it is. I don't want you to fast forward yourself into the nitpicky. Okay? Get present. Know that you have decisions that you need to make. The Ace of Cups on the King of Pentacles. Know that the decisions that you're making right now, there's no such thing as right or wrong, Virgo. And that's why you're afraid to make the decision. That's why you don't want to shift the energy like this, because you don't fully trust it. And if a Virgo doesn't fully trust a decision that they're making, they have a really hard time doing it. You know? Like I said, you don't have to know all the details right now. What you do have to know is what's best for you. And this Ace of Cups on the King of Pentacles, I mean, that speaks volumes. Being patient with yourself, surrounding yourself with the right people, that's really going to help you make some pretty big decisions. This could also be that you have so many opportunities coming in that you might need to, I know that this happens to me all the time, is when things start to like really start booming, like everything starts booming like really fast, and it feels like people are coming at me in all different directions. I get really overwhelmed, or I can have a tendency to get really overwhelmed. And so I get scared, and then I'll shut down my manifestations. That could easily happen to you in May. So I don't want to see you do that to yourself. I want you to have the confidence to know that what you are creating It's going to be pretty fantastic. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with yourself. So we have the Empress in June. I feel like you're feeling really good. This almost feels like a brand new energy for you. Okay, could be dealing with a Taurus. Some of you could be getting married. I mean, June is the month for that, right? I had to roll my eyes. Like, I don't think that I'd want to get married in June. I sweat too much. Some of you are getting married. Some of you are getting divorced in June. But either way, it doesn't really matter. Part of this is you really standing up for yourself and being honest with who you are when it comes to societal standards. This is you really standing firm and saying, I know who I am, and I don't need society to tell me who I am anymore. And that's karmic retribution for you with justice. So we have the Hierophant, and we have the Justice card, and we have the Hermit. And again, it's so interesting to me, Virgo, because the empowerment is so different than it's been in the last couple of years. And doing the reading and not feeling like I have to give you negative information is amazing. Now, don't get cocky. And I'm saying this to myself as well. Don't get cocky. Don't think like, oh, don't start to get lazy on yourself. Don't think like, oh, because everything is starting to look really good and everything's going really, really well, you start, because we can easily get very lazy on ourselves when things are looking really good and we don't have to work so hard. I think that might be one of your lessons, to don't sleep on yourself. And wow, all major arcanas, clarifying major arcanas, June is a big ass month for you, for us. June is a huge month of lessons, of recognition, what those lessons are, how society has molded us through all of the lessons that we're learning with the devil on the Hierophant, where it's almost as if we feel like we used to be a slave to certain things and certain aspects of life, and now not so much, right? The karmic retribution, there could be a Scorpio. I mean, we have Capricorn, we have Scorpio, we have Taurus, we have Virgo, we have Libra twice, we have the Empress here twice. I think the Empress energy is actually you guys, but the Death card on the Justice card, something is changing to bring balance into your life. This whole evolutionary process that you've been creating for yourself, Virgo, is bringing a karmic retribution. It's bringing justice to you. And I always say life isn't fair, but it is just. It is just. And I think that June is a month where you're really going to finally see how much you've grown and how much you've outgrown. Okay, so we have the Empress on the Hermit, and really allowing yourself to see that expansion is going to be so fantastic. So fantastic. So don't sleep on yourself in May and June. Don't sleep on yourself, because there are signs everywhere for you. And I think things are changing in a really big way, for the better. I mean, Saturn and Pluto are going to be trining. You know, that energy is going to be very strong for us because, you know, it's in Capricorn. And as long as we harness it in the right way, it'll probably be a lot smoother than if we decide to be scared of it. So let's see what the next 6 months entail. So I'm going to keep all of these cards out that we've already seen. We're just going to use the cards that are in here. We're going to shuffle a little bit. Virgo. July through December. And if you guys want to get the extended where you can see July through December, all of that information is in the description box below. Remember that my the 30-minute personal readings are on sale. Capricorn birthdays are on sale. Are on the special. The Capricorn birthday special is available. 30 minutes for $50, $100 for an hour. I don't know why I'm telling you guys that. There must be cross watchers. Capricorn cross watchers. I did not tell any other sign about the Capricorn birthday special. Jewelry is also on sale until the end of the year. And make sure you guys do the pre-order for the workshop that's happening in January. If you pre-order before December 31st for the workshop in January, you will also receive all of the meditations. All 4 of the meditations in January will be free. So take advantage of that. It's a $20 value if you pre-order. All of that information is in the description box. I love you guys. July. Ooh, look at that. So creation. And then in July, we have the Fool. August is the Tower. Dang, bringing it on in your season, huh? I mean, I guess Leo season is most of August, but this is for the birthday too. For my birthday's in August. Okay. It had to happen, Virgo, is what I'm hearing. The Wheel of Fortune. Maybe it was just an uncomfortable, something had to shift, and the Tower was the only way that it was going to do it. The High Priestess for October. November is the World. I like it. And December is the Hanged Man. All right. Interesting. You guys. I'm interested to see what August is. I'm going to take a little break before I do the extended. But, so it looks like to me that we decide that we're going to do something in the middle of the year, and it maybe doesn't go as planned, and something has to shift. But it really brings us a time to closing out some cycles that probably are much needed closeout cycles. I have a feeling that this has a lot to do with either like our work environment or family. For some reason, I feel like it's work environment or family. Don't feel like this is relationship wise, but we'll see. So again, extended, all that information is below. I love you guys. I will see you for January readings. Bye.